Hey everybody, welcome back, and it's time for my 2016 favorites when it comes to eye products, which you know is one of my favorite categories. So I know I tend to ramble. I've got quite a few products I want to talk about that was really excited and really enjoyed this year. I'm going to try and be as concise and quick as possible so that this video is not 5 hours long. So let's jump into it. So first off, let's talk about some eyeshadow bases. So my absolute favorite from the drugstore is the new Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. This thing is fantastic. It's like $5, and I use this interchangeably with my Lorac Behind the Scenes Eyeshadow Primer, with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and with my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I think if you are on a budget, I really don't see myself purchasing any of those because I get those samples all the time, but I never foresee myself repurchasing one of those primers because I have this one. So if you're on a budget, I would highly recommend checking this out. And then also, I love my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I know generally people who are a little bit more on the pale side or cool tone side tend to like painterly. I really like Soft Ochre because I just love the effect the yellow tone has on my eyelids. It just cancels out any purple discoloration. I tend to get a lot of dark circles and sallowness around my eyes, and this just brightens everything up, gives me a nice clean base to work with, and I just can rely on it to last all day and really help the longevity of any eyeshadow I put on top of it. So this is one of those products that I would say is definitely a great investment from a higher end brand, especially if you are, you know, tend to work with some drugstore eyeshadows that maybe don't last as long. This is something that's really going to help give it a boost. Now, these pencils I probably could have included with my brow video, but I chose to include them here, and you can see how short and how lovely they are. The first is the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light. I love both of these pencils for carving out the brow. This one I can also use on the inner rim or inner corner if I want to, and just pop some shadow over it. Absolutely gorgeous. This is NYX Wonder Pencil in Light. I said that right. Like, mine is super loved. It's just one of those great go-to products. It's great quality. It's really nice and affordable. This is going to be, they have a nice range of colors. So they have like a light, medium, and dark, which is really, really nice. And it's just a good little tool that I reach for every day. So the other pencil I love is the Ultimate Brow Highlighter from Wet n Wild. And this just comes in one shade as far as I know. And where the Wonder Brow pencil, even the one in light, is very neutral and could be used on a variety of skin tones. This one is very, very pink, very bright. Now, for me, for my purposes, because I'm so fair, I really enjoy that. It helps to give me a nice, clean base, really clean up underneath the brow, which I think is just the key to any dramatic eyeshadow look. This is going to be something that I wouldn't recommend to everybody because it's going to be too pink and too light on a whole bunch of people. It blends out beautifully. I love it underneath my eyeshadow, but I think if you're deeper than me or more yellow tone than me, go with the NYX Wonder Brow pencil in whatever shade. But if you are cool toned and fair, I highly recommend the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter because it's such a great little inexpensive product. Next, let's talk about some brow pencils. So the first one I want to talk about, you guys have probably seen me use a ton recently, and that is the Milani Liquid Eye Liquid Like Eyeliner Pencil, and this is in the shade Black. I don't know what to say about this, guys. It's creamy, it's pigmented, it's easy to use, it wears really well, it's not going to irritate your eyes, which is really important for me, and it's going to stay in the waterline. I mean, once this sets, it does not move. It is fantastic. They have some beautiful shades. I have a bunch of them, but again, you can really see the pencils that I use because they are just teeny, teeny, tiny. So this is definitely a just must have for me if you like black eyeliner in your waterline, tight lining, anything like that. And another one that really goes along with that for me that I was just absolutely loved, especially more towards the beginning of the year, I used this just an absolute ton, is the Master Precise Skinny eyeliner pencil in Defining Black. Again, this one's not quite as black as the Milani. It's going to be extremely matte. It's creamy. It's easy to use because it is so teeny tiny. It stays on the waterline really well. Just another great drugstore pencil that I really, really enjoyed and could rely on this year. And then finally, I want to talk about this one. This is the Rimmel Scandalized Pencil in Nude. I love this pencil. I think it's absolutely great. I love using this in the waterline whenever I'm not doing a black, just to cancel out any redness. It really opens up my eyes. It gives me a nice wide open awake look without being too stark white or too bright. I don't necessarily want to draw attention to my waterline. I just want to make sure it doesn't look pink or sickly, or you know what I mean, especially since I like to use a lot of the rosy tone shadows. So I love I just love the Rimmel Scandalized pencils, period. They have some really unique shades for the drugstore. They're a great price. They're right around $5, I believe, and they are just fantastic little pencils. Very creamy, very pigmented, and just a pleasure to work with. We're doing good, guys. We're doing good. All right, let's talk about a couple liquid liners, and these should be no surprise to you. The first one is my Jordana Cat Eyeliner in Black Leather, guys. This is my second or third one of these. This is a dupe for the Urban Decay Perversion liquid liner that they just discontinued. I absolutely love it. The formula is really creamy. It's really easy to work with. You get a nice brush tip, which is very flexible and fine, but it retains its shape so well, which is so important if you are like me and have textured eyelids, because if you do, you need a formula that is going to glide on smoothly, and you need a proper method of application. And for me, this is just the most ideal formula and application. The only thing I could ask from this is that it would dry down matte. It does have more of a vinyl finish, and it is not, it lasts really, really well, but it is not completely waterproof. So if your eyes start tearing, or if you get wet, your face gets wet, it is going to come off. But it's such a good product, and it's like $2.99. Plus, there are just a beautiful array of colors in the drugstore. And then this, I just want these two. I want these two liners to have a baby and for it to be matte. But this is the Wet n Wild H2O Proof Liquid Liner. This stuff it'll be Twinkies, Roaches, and the Wet n Wild H2O Proof Liquid Liner that will survive Armageddon. It is so good. Again, the formula is fantastic. It dries down to a vinyl finish. It's very black. It doesn't bleed on me. And this, I could put this on, and if my eyes start tearing throughout the day, it can cry off all my makeup to where my lashes are popping off. This liner is still gonna look as good as when I put it on in the first place. It is absolutely a spectacular product. The only thing I don't like about this liner is that it's a felt tip. I definitely prefer a brush tip. I will, however, say that it is a very nice, fine felt tip, and it has a lot of flexibility to it, which again is really important if you have textured eyelids, as far as my experience with eyeliner application, because that flexibility is gonna keep your liner from skipping along your eyes. I try and avoid like pin felt tips, things with a more stiff application method, just because it's not my friend. I don't have 21-year-old eyelids, and I'm jealous of the people that do, because putting on eyeliner is definitely a challenge. But this is such a great product if you have sensitive, watery eyes, or you have trouble finding eyeliner that stays on all day. This stuff is, I mean, you have to get an oil-based makeup remover to take this stuff off. It's that good. All right, let's talk about some mascaras, and then we're gonna talk about some eyeshadows. So mascaras, I have 4, and these are mascaras that I just absolutely love and that I just have been gravitating towards nonstop. The first one I didn't even buy. It was a gift with purchase, and it's from Pure. It's the Fully Charged Mascara. I love this mascara. I love the brush on this. It has a very subtle, like, hourglass shape, almost like the Too Faced Better Than Sex, but not quite as exaggerated. It's got that kind of fluffy bristle to it, and I love the formula. It just gives me length, it gives me volume, I can wear it on my lower lash line, it doesn't flake off, and I just love the full, just kind of lush look it gives my lashes. So I will be repurchasing this, because that has been a favorite for sure. And then you guys have seen me use this a ton of times. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara. This is a $3 mascara. I love using this mascara with falsies. I love using this mascara with falsies. I love using this as a lower lash line mascara. It is one of my favorites. It has got a great formula that's not too dry, it's not too wet. Again, it doesn't flake off on me. It doesn't irritate my eyes by, you know, when mascara flakes off and gets in your eyes, it can be really irritating. So the fact that this does not flake, wears really well, and is just beautiful for, I really like an exaggerated lower lash line, because I think it just really makes your eyes open and awake and seem bigger than they are. And this is just such a great mascara for that, because I love that teeny tiny little brush. The next one I have is also a Wet n Wild mascara. This is the Wet n Wild Max Fanatic Cat Eye Mascara. I love this mascara. I hated the Max Volume, but this one is fantastic. Again, the formula is just absolutely phenomenal on that. The brush is one of those plastic bristle brushes, but you've got that kind of curve to it like the L'Oreal, is it the L'Oreal Lash Out Butterfly Mascara? And then you've got some spikies on the other side that are really good for, so I'll apply it, so what I'll do is I'll apply it with that butterfly side and really fan out my inner and outer lashes, and then I'll get those little spiky sides and I'll get in and get really close to the lash and the root line and really separate them and just add some volume. I love this. I'm wearing this today. Again, I can wear it on my lower lash line. It is a wonderful everyday mascara. I find that it builds pretty well if you do just a couple coats, and it's just one of those great mascaras that I was not expecting to be as good as it is, and I love it. Finally, let's talk about this baby. This baby is so old, but this is the Maybelline Lash Sensation Lash Sensational. This is such a great mascara. So it gives me length, it gives me volume, it curls my lashes, because I never curl my lashes. I am just too lazy for that shiznit, and it is such a great mascara. It's one of those mascaras that when I start using it, I can't use anything else because I just love it so much. I think it's one of Maybelline's best mascaras. All right, guys, let's talk about some eyeshadow singles before we jump into a few palettes. So just a few, I swear. So first off, I want to talk about some singles from Milani. These are from the Milani Bella Eyes gel powder eyeshadows from a couple of years ago. Now, these were so hyped up. Everybody and their mother was like just dying for these. They were sending out PR all over the place, and I have most of them. I think I'm just missing a couple of shades, but there's a few shades that I really just have been enjoying like crazy, and that is Bella Diamond, Bella Chiffon, and Bella Rose. I love these. I use these as highlighters. I use them as inner corner highlights. I use them underneath the brow, and I use them on the lid. These are one of those shadows that just kind of, you know, I got them and I was so excited about them, and then I stopped using them, you know, because I forgot how much I love them, and I've really been pulling them out and just putting them to work, and they're such great shadows, and they're great for highlighters on the face as well. Such beautiful, gorgeous sheen to them without being overly glittery or sparkly. They blend out beautifully, and they just are great little shadows to have to make any other eye look work. Especially if you have these three, you're gonna have a more just solid white highlighter, you're gonna have a golden highlighter, and you're gonna have a rosy highlighter, plus the shadows that you can use on your inner corner. So I absolutely have been loving those. I also have really been enjoying my Kiss Professional New York eyeshadow singles. This one really stood out to me. This one is called Beau. This is a beautiful brown. The texture on this is absolutely unbelievable. It blends out beautifully. It's a gorgeous, neutral, deep brown. It's not too cool. It's not too warm. Absolutely stunning. These are like $2.99 a piece. Love, love, love this shadow. All right, guys, and I've got 4 eyeshadow palettes that I just went through my collection and just I've really enjoyed using. I've loved the looks that have come out of them, and yeah, they just make me happy. I know I have a shit ton of eyeshadow. I know I use different eyeshadows all the time, but just going back and looking through my collection, I wanted to pick out a few palettes that really just kind of have stuck in my head this year. So first off, let's start with this little baby. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Trio in Velour Vixen. This came out with their holiday collection. I love this. This was one of my favorite looks from my 31 days of tutorials. Great brow bone highlight. Like, guys, these are already starting to wear down. Love this highlight. This burgundy shade is absolutely beautiful. And I even like this deep, dark, glittery shade with pink sparkles in it, which usually is not my thing. But this little trio makes the most beautiful look together. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. If you can still find this in stores, I would highly recommend this. I just think it is simple, elegant, sultry, sexy, all at the same time. I love these shadows, and the quality is phenomenal. I don't think I need to say much about this. If you guys know me and know my aesthetic, I love these foiled, shimmery, bright colors. This is the Foil Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette from BH Cosmetics. I love the color selection in here. I love the texture. These, I will say, they are a little powdery. They are going to need some work. I mean, a little bit of help, but I don't find that to be a bad thing, especially for the price. That palette is $12. And it's just beautiful. The variety of colors you get in there, and the way the shadows apply on the eye, and the way they perform is just phenomenal. I have really been giving this little section some love, but I'm really starting to fall in love with like some of these greens. This mint shade is bomb. what other shade do I really like in here? This peachy shade is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's just such a great little palette if you are on a budget, you like bright colors, you like those foiled metallic type of shades. All you need is a setting spray or a little bit of water to apply these wet, and you are going to be in hog heaven, because I just think this is such a fun palette. It makes me so happy every time I pull it out to play with it, and I don't know what else to say about it than that. The next palette I want to talk about is the Too Faced Natural Matte Palette. Guys, I know I kind of talked shit about Too Faced in my recent anti-haul video, but I love this, and this is, you know, the aesthetic that I love from Too Faced. It's beautiful, it's just simple, it's gorgeous, and I love this palette. I'm wearing this on my eyes today, just a very simple look because my eyes are really irritated. I filmed a tutorial earlier and my eyes were not having it, but this is just one of those great everyday palettes I can go to. I have ADD when it comes to makeup, so instead of, you know, using a palette every day that has 15 shades in it where I'm gonna want to put everything on my eye, I can look in this and throw together a really easy look. So if you are one of those girls, guys, I feel your pain. It's so difficult because you want all the colors. You want all the colors. But I love this palette because it is so simple. It's matte. It's appropriate for any type of look, any type of event. You can do everything from really natural to super vampy, smoky. They have an array of cool tones, warm tones, and neutral tones in here. This is just a perfect, in my opinion, everyday palette. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite purchases this year. And then lastly, guys, this palette, I love this palette. This is the Master Palette by Mario from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This, I am so glad I picked this up. I was on the fence about it. Again, thank you, Haley Wright, for convincing me that I needed this palette, because I definitely did. The colors in here are stunning. Stunningly beautiful. They're subtle, they're sophisticated. The way they blend, the way they apply to the eye, it just, I sit down to use this palette and it just absolutely makes me just one happy camper. I just, if you didn't get this palette, I'm really sorry and you wanted it. I got really lucky because I did find it in stores, but it's just, I know it's limited edition, but it is probably my favorite palette out of the year. I love it. I love it. It's fun. All right, guys, so those are my eye product favorites from 2016. I hope this was fun for you. Again, let me know what you love down below, what you've been loving this year, so I can know what to check out. But guys, as always, thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.